Hey guys, welcome to the RC.
The show that's not about regulating the coronavirus, because today we're delving back into the world of Hogwarts, School of Prayer and Miracles. Rachel, what did you think of chapter 1?
I hated it.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It was not, well, if you're gonna write a fan fiction, at this point I don't even care that like she took out the part that makes it interesting, which is the challenges that come from being a young witch or wizard. It's the fact that it just wasn't well written.
Well, we disagree with you. From the first writings where she says, authors note, hello friends. I've been getting so many lovely, thankful messages from mommies everywhere. And I just want to say thank you for all your encouragement. However, I also have been getting several messages saying that my story is bad because Harry Potter is not just about witches. It's about friendship and kindness and bravery. Rachel, would you be one of those people saying that?
Yeah, I mean, it is about things other than that.
Friends, this is exactly what I've been saying. That's her response to you. She's calling you a friend. Do you feel like she is a friend?
No.
Harry Potter has many good things about it, but it still has witchcraft. So my children cannot read it. But this is why I'm writing this, so they can have all the adventures and good morals of the Harry Potter books without all the bad stuff that is bogging it down. I mean, Matthew 3:12, am I right?
Wait, which one's Matthew 3:12? I am not good at pulling Bible verses off the top of my head. I'm so sorry. Matthew 3:12 is...
Matthew 3... For some reason, I pulled up Matthew 5 when I typed it. Matthew 3:12 is the 12th verse of the second... That doesn't help me, of the third chapter. His winnowing fork is in one hand, and he will clear his threshing floor, gathering his wheat into the barn, and burning up the chaff with unquenchable fire.
So
without further ado, on to chapter 2.
I don't know how to relates.
I mean, burning people, am I right?
No! Anyways, okay, well... okay, this time I'm going to try. Last time I interrupted a lot because I was very angry about it. This time I'm going to try to just listen. And after... You'll get to watch my facial expressions, which I'm sure will be fascinating.
Where we last left off, Harry Potter was... Hagrid told Harry... that if you wanted to be a Christian, you could learn more at Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. I completely forgot the voices I was using. Harry queried and clasped his hands. Just at hearing that name, he felt such a sense of inner peace. He wanted to have more of that peace, and he wanted to learn how to be a good Christian. He was starting to think that peace and being a good Christian were, in fact, the same thing. I want to go there. Hagrid beamed widely. So like sun on him. He had been praying.
Spotlight.
He had been praying so hard to save a soul tonight. Can someone save my soul tonight? Isn't that an Elton John? Oh, sorry. And
do not change the time of day on me.
I am so sorry. And he was so happy to have saved the soul of such a sweet, earnest little one. The poor boy being raised by two parents who were not Christian and who both went to work and left him with a babysitter all day long.
Wait, that is a whole new set of information.
It was a good thing Hagrid had got here in time. 5 years down the road, Harry might have been a fornicating, drug-addicted evolutionist. Which is this, I guess, a Death Eater in this version of Harry Potter?
Wait, is that what the Death Eaters are?
We're going to see. That's in chapter 13.
Also, what does the drug addict have to do with anything?
Absolutely
Neither
not.
one of his... They're not his parents.
Don't be silly, Harry, Aunt Petunia commanded and wrung her long, bony hands. Come back inside. I will read to you about evolution from the Dawkins. Again, the Dawkins? You do not need that silly religion. Harry scrunched up his innocent little face and thought very hard. Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon were as close to their parents as he had. This was the only home he knew. Could he really leave? But he was saved now. He had prayed the sinner's prayer. He could not stay here. Not anymore. Not with what he knew now. Oh my gosh. Get a comma in your sentence.
I'm sorry. As a grammar person, this is rough.
He knew what he had to do. No, Aunt Petunia, he uttered calmly. Oh, sorry, calmly. No, Aunt Petunia, he uttered calmly with childlike wisdom. Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
For those of you who don't
Evolution
know, that's my
is not real,
Harry Potter
and
meme.
I am going to Hogwarts. No, Harry, Aunt Petunia screeched desperately. Sorry. No, Harry! Aunt Petunia screeched desperately. I have an idea. You can have a second birthday today. You like birthdays, right? That's not how birthdays work, Aunt Petunia.
I also don't.
Birthdays.
Wait, would that convince a kid?
Don't worry. No. It doesn't, Harry, because he says birthdays are not of God. Harry verbalized knowingly and looked at his aunt with an innocent wisdom. You tried to corrupt me, but it did not work. But I forgive you, Aunt Petunia. because of Luke 23:24.
Wait a minute. How does he now know? He's never heard the Bible.
How does he know?
He's never heard about religion. How does... Okay, wait. Look up what Luke 23:24 is. I'm sorry.
Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing, and they divided up his clothes by casting lots.
I mean, it's a good
Did
verse.
Harry just quote Christ on the cross?
Also, this child has never opened a Bible a day in his life, and somehow he
just
knows
found out what
this.
Christian
Also,
means.
who said birthdays? Okay, God made sure you were born on a certain day. Therefore, God made
we're abandoning the
birthdays.
fact of us not making comments in the middle of this.
Sorry.
What is going on so
It got
far?
confusing.
I'm sorry. So Hagrid shows up. He tells this kid, "Pray the sinner's prayer, and you're a Christian." And
That's
then
also
Harry,
not
who
how-
had never heard of Christians before. Also, what happened to baptism? Because I thought people were like all big into baptisms across all Christianity.
All Christianity, as far as I'm aware, tell me if I'm wrong, as far as I'm aware, requires some form of baptism. And I'm pretty sure just saying a prayer does not, unless it's like an extraneous situation.
Maybe Harry will be baptized at Hogwarts.
Oh, that would make sense.
That would be super weird.
This is already weird.
Hagrid was amazed once again at the wisdom of little ones. He did not know if he could forgive someone who had hurt him as much as this woman had hurt little Harry. Deny him the truth? Who could be so cruel?
I thought we were going to say cruel because she, I don't know, had him sleeping in a closet under the stairs.
No, he was sleeping he had a bedroom. In chapter 1, it said he had a bedroom.
It specifically says in his bedroom under the stairs.
They kept that part in.
He's still living in a cupboard.
But Harry did not even think twice about it. He forgave just like that. Truly. Hagrid gained a new understanding of Matthew 19:14 that day. All right, looking it up.
Why would you throw so many? I am not. I'm sorry. You do not need to know every Bible verse.
Matthew 19:14. Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these, as someone who just found out what being Christian means and determined that the Dawkins is corrupting lies.
Is it always going to be the Dawkins? Because I'm pretty sure his name's just Dawkins.
Considering he's about to leave, I don't think we're ever going to hear about the Dawkins anymore. Do not leave, Harry. Dudley, wailed. Do not leave, Harry. Dudley wailed childishly. I must, Harry said, and stepped over the threshold. Goodbye, Dursleys. I hope you are too saved one day. I don't know what happened to my voice there. I am so sorry. And with that, he and Hagrid began to walk down Private Drive.
Isn't it Privet? It's not Private Drive. Does she just not know how to spell? I can't
Privacy
be mad.
is of the devil. How will we get to the school, Hagrid? Harry queried curiously. We will pray, Hagrid retorted knowledgeably. How do we do that? Harry solicited inquisitively.
Okay,
watch,
look,
Hagrid said.
I love adverbs as much as... I love adverbs as much as the next girl, and I love the use of different verbs. But
this is a little too many.
It sounds smart, but there has to be a point where you just said someone said something.
You know, this really sounds like words that the Dawkins would use.
Anyways.
Watch, Hagrid said, and then got down on his knees on the road. He motioned for Harry to get down on his knees too. Whoa, Hagrid. Whoa, this is getting weird, man. Getting a little
First off, in the
weird.
middle of the street, safety first. I'm all for praying on the street, but
if I look out of my window and I see a lumberjack man and a small British child, I don't even know if he's British, kneeling in the middle of the road, I'm calling the authorities immediately. That's a death cult. Did Harry just accidentally get in a death cult and respond as a Christian, religion?
Okay.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Hagrid raised his hands to the heaven, raise your hands, and cried out in a deep, thunderous voice,
Dear Lord, take us to Hogwarts.
Harry felt himself being whisked away. And in a moment, he was sitting in the cool, damp grass outside a humongous, beautiful castle. He looked in awe at the tall towers and the gray stones. What a beautiful place! A tall, thin man with a long, pointed, big beard and big wire spectacles stood in front of Harry. He was wearing a brown tweed suit and a nice matching hat. His shoes were made of leather and polished until they shone. He had a smile much like Hagrid's smile, so peaceful. Harry just knew that he could trust him.
Exclamation point.
Trust him! A lovely, kindly young woman with flowing blonde hair and a pleasant, heart-shaped face stood behind this old man. I have to come with a new voice.
Hello there, little one,
the man greeted amicably. I am the Reverend... Nope, that's not how a reverend would ever sound. Hello there, little one. Nope.
Hello there, little one.
We're going back to that. The man greeted amicably.
I am the Reverend Albus Dumbledore, and this is my wife, Minerva. Welcome to Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles.
Author's note, blessings. Chapter 2.
Okay, that ends... feel like we should just done all these at once, because honestly, this ends so suddenly.
No, you really have to take your time, or you will be brain dead.
That's fair. First off,
What did you think of this episode? New Horizons.
As a Harry Potter fan, yes, we're called Potterheads. It's funny. Minerva doesn't have blonde hair. She has gray and brown hair.
I love how that's what you're picking out.
That's
when
the
she's
first thing.
married to Dumbledore.
She is married to Dumbledore, which is probably the weirdest part of this episode or chapter.
And Hagrid kneels with a child in the street, and the part that you pick out is your first thing is, Minerva doesn't have blonde hair.
I focus on the weird things.
Also, you think that proud housewife Grace Ann would read Harry Potter to such an... Wait, hold on a second. How would she know all this if she hadn't read Harry Potter?
The only way that she would know any of this
Is
is
if
either
she read
it,
or
if somebody who had read it sat her down, or she read the Sparks Notes. She could have read the Sparks
You know
Notes.
what she did? She read a homeschool mom's blog about all the bad stuff of it, and it had to explain it. I think she is coming for us. So what are your last points? What are your big thoughts on this?
There still is not enough. I don't feel like any story has been developed. I get the thing is, a chapter is still supposed to have some significance to the story, and I feel like she could have written this all as like a novel, like as one chapter probably at this point, because it's so broken up. Like, I can't, if you're not sitting there reading it all the way through, which in hindsight I think we probably should have done, it's hard to read. There is so much light on me right now. Like, look at that. It's still so bright. My jawline is not visible. Have fun playing with the changing lighting.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's challenging just in general because we really don't know what's going on. We have no
we
context.
do. She's explaining everything.
No, we do. But the problem...
She explains it too much. We know that Harry queried quiveringly and that Hagrid kneeled prayerfully and that Albus
I just don't see any direction. Like, she probably could have written this all as one chapter.
Yeah, I agree.
And had them getting... and then probably continued on through chapter 3. We haven't read it yet. But probably continued on through that. There has to be a point where you're like, you're cutting off, and I understand that you want to leave the audience wanting more, but it's just so broken up that it's almost weird to try to remember what the previous chapter was about and to read it. It's just not well written. I understand wanting to change things because you don't like the way it is, but like, why not just create an original story that is similar to Harry Potter? Because here's the thing, if your kid reads this, then they go to school, they're gonna get made fun of. They're gonna get mocked. This isn't going to help your kid experience Harry Potter in a positive way, because all it's going to do is, first off, it gives them the wrong impression of the characters. Just write an original story that maybe is faith-based, that isn't in magic, that is highly, highly similar, and consider it like a fan fiction. And at the end of the day, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. Next week, we are going to meet Albus's daughter, Hermione Dumbledore, and the evil Catholic heretic Ronald Weasley.
Well, he's got red hair and he's got lots of siblings.
So join us next week for another episode of We Don't Have a Name for This Show still.
We don't have a name for the segment, but if you have any other names for cool segments, let us know. We're interested in hearing it, and we're clearly bored. We have way too much free time on our hands, so
yeah,
please give us something to talk about.
That sounds accurate. Because if we keep having to do all of Harry Potter School of Prayer and Miracles, which we will,
14 chapters. We're on 2.
Get ready. Please help us.
Awesome.
Support us on Patreon. We should start a Patreon for doing. Patreon. I'm kidding.
If you want to send
us money
or stuff, if you have things that you want us to talk about, send it to
Tell
us.
us.
Whether
yes.
it's a message or you send us a book or whatever. He has more free time than I do, but because film school. But we're always down to try new things. We're always down to read new things. Clearly, because I'm reading this nightmare. As always, we're so glad that you guys came. We're sorry that you have chosen to punish yourself by hearing this book.
Why are you doing this? We're doing this for content. Why are you watching this?
You have a choice. we already made our bad choice. You have a choice, and you're continuing to make this choice.
The choice is to like and subscribe and watch our last episode of our podcast where we talked about discernment.
Awesome. We're in the same shirts. We filmed it the same day because content creation. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're so glad that you guys were here. And as always,
Keep it real.